Okay, great to see you again, Joan. How
it's
are
good.
you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good. Last week I feel like we really made some great improvements to what we've been talking about, just your anxiety, your stress levels, and coping with that. I'm glad we got down to that core belief of you feeling like if you don't find these emails out, or if you don't send the emails out, that'll look bad on you and that will mean that you're a failure. So I'm really glad we got to talk about that. I'm really glad that you're back here to see me again today.
Yeah, it's good to be back. I've been doing what you've been telling me to do, and I still can't quite grasp the whole not emailing people. Like just yesterday, Stan asked me what was for supper, and I emailed him.
Oh, you emailed him?
Yes.
Okay.
I told him that we were having tiger burgers, curly fries, cheese sauce, mashed potatoes, and green beans.
Oh, okay.
Well, and dinner rolls.
Well, let's put that down. Let's make an agenda and figure out just what you would really like to talk about today, just what you want to accomplish. Let's set the agenda.
Well, I did the homework last week and
kind
of made a map whenever I felt like what was happening around the times that I felt like I just really needed to send out emails other than for work.
Okay, awesome.
Which that's another thing in and of itself. But in my personal life, I think a lot of it goes back to my daughter, Callan.
Okay, absolutely.
She's an adjunct professor at CU.
Okay.
And she's also doing something with Campbellsville Independent School System.
Gotcha.
And I think they mistreat her a little too much. And I think it's because of her lack of communication skills.
Okay.
She obviously did not get that from me. She got that from Stan. But
okay. And how is you and Stan? How is that relationship going?
It's going good.
I know you sent him
today,
an email, about the dinner.
We exchanged words, like face-to-face words.
Yeah.
I told him good morning, and then I sent him an email of what the cafeteria was having for lunch and dinner today.
Sure. So I definitely want to explore some of that aspect of you communicating with Stan and communicating with Callan, your daughter. Now, you said you wanted to talk about the homework from last week. I gave you a sheet that talked about for every hour of the day what you were doing during that time and how you felt. Where was your anxiety level really during that time? How do you think that went for you this past week?
I think it went very well. I was able to pinpoint what brought me the most stress. I would say that in my work life, it was my meetings with my boss, and especially with Dr. Carter, because I've told you that they're thinking about firing me for all the emails.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Okay. So that must have caused you a lot of stress then.
That did cause me a lot of stress because, emails are just the best form of communication, especially mass communication, getting it out to everyone. And this is my job. To make sure that everybody gets the information that they need to go through everyday life.
Right.
That is my job.
So do you feel when you are sending these emails that you feel a sense of relief?
I do.
Okay.
Whenever I send an email, I get this sense of purpose, this sense of I'm helping someone.
So now I would love to explore, if you're okay with it, a little more about the thought process that went behind you when Dr. Carter mentioned that you might lose your job for sending too many emails. Take me through that part of the day.
Okay, so I walked into work.
Okay.
I did my usual sending out the cafeteria,
the menu
for today. Dr. Carter called me into his office. He says, Joan, we need to talk. And I'm like, okay, Dr. Carter. What do you need? I said, what do you need me to send out? What email do you need me to send? And he said, Joan, you've got to calm it down with these emails. And I said, what do you mean?
When he told you that, what was your first immediate response?
I felt very betrayed.
Okay.
And very upset.
Sure.
Because this is my job, is inform these students. And I do that via the email.
The email, sure.
Yes.
And so continue on. He told you this, and you felt all of these things. Betrayal. Did you feel? We had talked before about that core belief of being a failure. Is that what you kind of adapted when he said that?
Whenever he said that, it was like the one thing that I'm gonna have to email him.
Mm-hmm.
My true passion, emailing people. He told me that was too much.
Okay.
And to know that my hard work and everything that I've been working toward, my lifeline, has become so diminished.
Okay.
And I just don't.
Now, you said something really interesting. You said that you felt like emailing all these things is the one thing that you're good at. And I just want to, if it's okay with you, explore that a little more.
Okay.
Just to see where you are actually at with that. So you said that emailing is the one thing that you are good at, but I want to explore maybe some other strengths that you identify with.
Okay.
So in regards to your husband and Callan, your daughter, do you feel like you have any strengths in that personal realm of your life?
Well, I love them very much.
Sure. So you're very loving. Let's mark that down as a strength. Okay, sure. And it seems like to me that you are very loyal in that. You've been with this same university for
36 years.
So let's write that down and put that as a strength. Do you have any other strengths in regards to your family and your community, your loyalty to that?
I do think that I'm very loyal to my community. Every time a student sends me something to send out to other students, I do it.
Sure.
And I do it right away. I don't wait around and lollygag. I do it right then and there so that the students can get their information.
So you're very
just
prompt.
As soon as possible. Yes.
Okay. I want to write that down as a strength as well.
I'm never late.
Here's what I want to explore maybe a little bit further is how sending the emails, it relieves you of this anxiety, is what I'm hearing. Now, what can we do maybe in place of sending numerous emails over and over and over again? What can we do in place of that maybe to help you not feel as anxious? Do you have any, what do you think? I want you to visualize.
Okay.
I want you to visualize a situation in which this has happened. Something has made you very anxious, giving you lots of worries and anxieties.
Like the possibility of me losing my job?
Yes. So let's think about this. And what is something that you find comfort in, maybe other than sending emails? Are there any? If not, that's fine. If there's not anything that comes to mind, that's totally fine. And that's something we can explore.
I just love sending emails.
Okay.
It's just a great form of communication. And I just can't imagine not sending emails. It's just a way to get everything out and in the open.
Right.
And you can't take it back. And I can't think of anything that I enjoy as much as emailing.
Okay, well, Joan, I want to do something maybe this week, and we can try it, and if it doesn't work, that's totally fine. I just want to explore this breathing technique with you. Okay. Is that something you'd be open to?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll breathe.
Sure. Is it something that you have felt? I know we've talked in the past before when you start to feel anxious, you start to start breathing heavily, you start feeling dizzy.
And then I send the emails.
And then you send the emails, okay. Right, in the frenzy that's happening.
Yes.
Okay, so I just want to explore that a little bit further. So we're going to, this week as homework, I want to talk about these breathing techniques.
Okay.
Now, something that I haven't done a whole lot, but have I've heard about these, and I think it would be a really great fit for you. They have breathing technique apps that can go on your phone.
Oh.
And I know you love sending emails from your phone.
Oh, I love to send emails from my phone. Oh, speaking of which, I have a student that I'm going to wait.
Oh my gosh, that is awesome. I really appreciate that. That is a strength. I'm writing that down as a strength as well. So first what I want to talk about, and I'm going to give you this sheet that we've been discussing.
It's a big step for me not to.
I know, and I really, really appreciate it. I think we're making some awesome progress here. I'm going to write this up, and I want you to take it with you, so you can remember all these things. If you would like to type it up and send it in your own email, I think that
I would love that. Thank you so much.
So I want you to think about, while we're sitting in here in this session, about 3 of the most stressful things that happen in your week to week that cause you anxiety, which then lead to the sending of the email. Okay? So can you tell me one of those things?
I would say the first one would be supervisory meetings with Dr. Carter.
Okay, so I'm going to put meetings. Let's just start there.
Yes.
I'm putting meetings with Dr. Carter. So let's talk about these meetings. What is the first thing that happens during these meetings?
The first thing that happens is we usually go in and we exchange, nice little things like hellos, and how are you, and that kind of thing.
Okay.
And then we usually get down to business.
Sure. And is that when does the anxiety start to set in during these meetings for you?
Usually after the formalities. The hello, how are you, that kind of thing. Because then I know that I'm either usually going to get praised or fussed on.
Sure.
And it's the not knowing thing.
Gotcha. But just that little time of which one is it going to be?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I've seen people, get told off in those meetings.
Sure.
Until recently, I was never one of them.
Gotcha. So I just wanted to go back to this time. I want you to close your eyes.
Okay.
If you're comfortable with that, I think that's might help you a lot. I want you to visualize this happening. Okay, and so when you're sitting in these meetings, how do people know that you are becoming anxious? Do they see you get out your phone and start to email?
I don't think that they realize that I'm getting anxious.
Okay.
I tend to hide my emotions very well.
Gotcha.
Because I channel them all in through my emails.
Okay.
And sending them.
Gotcha. So now I want you to have that perception. Now I want you to think about, instead of getting anxious and sending the email at the meeting, getting out your phone, clicking on the breathing technique app, and starting just there at your seat. No one ever has to know what you're doing. Just there at your seat, becoming more self-aware with your breathing, the inhaling and exhaling. Okay, and you can open your eyes. Now, do you have any sort of reason why this technique might not work this week during your homework sessions?
A lot of times Stan loses his charger, and so he uses mine at night.
Okay.
And then I have to charge mine on the way to work.
Okay.
And it doesn't get fully charged.
So absolutely.
And so sometimes my phone dies, and that also increases my anxiety because it's like, what if I get an email?
Sure.
And I can't email that person back or send out that information that they need to be passed around.
So what if we try, along with the breathing techniques, what is something you could do to solve the charging issue? What other resources are there on campus, or could you?
Well, I hear that they have these new charging stations.
You are correct. I have heard that as well.
So I may try and borrow one of them.
I think that is great. And you came up with that all by yourself. I think that is I think that's progress that we're really making. So for this week, I'm going to give it to you in a little index card.
Okay.
Just some of those breathing techniques that, those applications that I think will work really, really well for you. And like I said, you can just do it in your seat while you're there at the meeting. And hopefully that will cause you less anxiety as you go throughout your meeting.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Joan. It was so great being with you.